Hello and welcome to the New Dimensions live broadcast by Sedus. We're broadcasting live from the Sedus headquarters in Dogan. More than 1,000 registered viewers from all around the world are tuned in, and you, dear viewer, at home or in office or home office, you are a part of it. Welcome to the broadcast. I would also like to welcome the members of the board at Sedus Stoll AG, the management and the audience that can be present on site. Great having you here. You already heard him entertaining us with the saxophone and the DJ set, the one and only Sebastian Grimus. And now I would like to invite my first guest on stage. He's the executive board member for managing and marketing and sales, Holger Janke. Welcome, Holger Janke.
Thank you very much.
Why are we here today?
That's a good question. Normally we would be in Cologne at the Orgatec during this time at the end of October every 2 years, but this year it wasn't impossible. All the fairs were cancelled, but we try to stay in contact with our clients worldwide, and that is the reason why we are now here.
Well, that sounds promising. Let's see how, the products, solutions will look like. These products and solutions, you tried them out already a few weeks ago in your own premises at Sedus. Well, let's embark on this journey together, shall we? Yep. Please.
Classic items of office furniture, such as these, have dominated our spaces in recent years. They serve people, support them during daily work, and enhance their health, as you can see here, through height adjustment, but also with other functions. But the world has changed. Since the pandemic, which affects us all, we are no longer able to work as we did before. Today, we work in different locations. On the one hand, in our homes, but also still the office and the future. But for this, I need new concepts, and it is exactly these concepts which Sedus has prepared for. We offer custom solutions for individual use in the post-pandemic era. We support businesses so that people can communicate better, creative ideas are allowed to flow, and so that it's fun to go into the office once more. This means the world looks different, whether as lounge solutions as shown here, or desks at standing height. The objective is to motivate people to have a quick discussion and exchange a few ideas. In the last 6 months, we all became accustomed to communicating with colleagues from home, using a wide range of digital media. WebEx meetings were held. Team processes were digitized. This means the typical office worker was suddenly sitting at home on their own, even if they were connected with their colleagues. Of course, this type of digital connection is quite different to meeting in person and having a one-to-one chat, because that's where ideas start. Today, we have the option of working from home across Europe, if not across the whole world. We also have the option of coming back to the office and talking to other colleagues. This is exactly what many staff want, as identified from recent surveys, because that's the only place where ideas start. Of course, the demands on the office of the future are quite different to those we have known to date. We have the classic workshop style, as we can see to my right here, with a facilitator or in teams. Using the same furniture, we have the option to accommodate a seminar-style session with forward-facing rows, or to hold a conference, as you can see here. These are the multifunctional requirements placed on offices these days. They have become necessary because people have the choice of coming into the office or working from home. This multifunctionality takes over. At some point, it starts to dominate the space and the associated requirements. It also stems, as you can see here, from traditional room spaces. But these kinds of solutions are also possible. Solutions using the same furniture, multifunctional, usable indoors and outdoors. This allows us to offer users, but also property operators, a virtually unlimited range of possible applications. On one hand, this range of options is very important to us. But on the other hand, we also offer many other options. Join us on our journey from Geseke to Dogan, where we would like to show you some other application options from our range. Offices are becoming smarter, but smarter doesn't mean more fixed workspaces where each employee goes to the same desk every morning. Smarter means task and solution oriented, since today's office worker find the space where they can be most productive. And this is where the smart office comes in. The smart office brings together the most different things. For example, team working, informal chats at the bar, hot desking, concentrated individual work in a cube or team meetings. There are many, many options for where an office worker can work these days. What else does a smart office need to offer? Connection of the digital and physical worlds. This means digitizing traditional layouts. These layouts show how often which areas are used and where I can book myself in as a user. I can find colleagues if they want me to. Also, as a facility manager, I can analyze the areas and identify optimization needs, or identify which areas are most popular. I can then replicate these areas to ensure optimum space usage. The topic of safety is also very important today. Here, for example, we have integrated the people counter, or the coronavirus alert distancing function, within our C-Connects software. This means this application is much more than just an analysis and booking system. It fits perfectly to our present circumstances and is part of our modern smart office solutions.
Very exciting, Holger Janke. When I watched the video, the topics you mentioned in this video, I suddenly became aware of them, and they really struck me. For example, the home office is becoming more and more important. But still, and that's what I've noticed, many people have the desire and the need to have an office again where they can go to and work in, right?
We believe that the desire from the people after working 6 months or longer from the home office is to come back to the office. Not only to do typical office work there, but they are, it's a place of social communication where the people come together, share ideas, create new ideas. And I think that's a new topic for the office of the future. And with Sedus, we will bring a lot of solutions for this case.
Well, also the solutions with this flexibility and changeability of the new products, right? And what also struck me was the concepts you mentioned for connecting the digital and physical aspects.
In former times, these were two worlds. We had the digital world, it was more the IT world, and on the other hand, the furniture. But today it fits together, and we created a new kind of office where the digital components are integrated in the furniture. So we are, I think, on a very good way to find the right solutions also for our clients worldwide.
Thank you very much for the insights, Holger Janke. We will see you again later.
Thank you very much.
Sebastian Grimus, thank you very much. And now I would like to invite my second guest on stage. He is the head of marketing, Ernst Holzapfel. Welcome. Welcome, Mr. Holzapfel. May I ask you a personal question?
Of course.
So, what made you call this broadcast New Dimensions?
Well, the reason why, there are actually a couple of them. To start with, let's think about what's happening right now. We have people from all over the world connected, some from home, some from the office, some with their mobile devices from almost everywhere. And what we recognize is that the office is expanding its boundaries. And if you think about it, never before we had this opportunity, and this is really a privilege, so that we can share with all the people out there so many beautiful things. This is the first thing, and I call this, why not, New Dimensions. The second point is that the world is really changing fast, and we recognize how the working environment is changing too. And what we discover and what we find out is that there's a kind of a shift towards more collaboration in the office, in this office space. But it's also kind of getting a space where people get creative, where they express their genius, and where people have the opportunity to reach out, to share new ideas, and to be more successful together, to create great things together. This is a new dimension. And in the key visual that we created for this event, we draw these, liking these dots. Now, never in mankind, in the history of mankind, we had so much access to information and to knowledge as we have it today. And when you think about technology, it's really just an exponential development that we can see. And as these things are happening, can you imagine creating a kind of a platform where each one of us can share our experience, our knowledge, and if you want to use even the word wisdom, and imagine all of us having the opportunity to also access that information. And I truly believe the more we get able to connect these dots, and the more of these dots we connect together, the more we will be able to come up with radical new solutions. And this is what we're striving for. This is a new dimension, create great things together.
Well, that sounds indeed very, very interesting. But what does it mean in concrete terms?
Well, Simon, I brought along 2 examples to make that more tangible, what I just tried to explain a little bit. So I talked about sharing, I talked about connecting the dots, creating a network. And it's all about collaboration and reaching out to experts. Now, I would like the first example that I brought along is a little bit a story about the hardware and the software. Now, Sedus is an office furniture manufacturer. We create office furniture solutions. And our core business is the hardware. And this year, we came up with beautiful new solutions that will enhance collaboration, but also boost all the kind of agile working, flexibility at work. And moreover, this is very much the hardware, so that we create spaces and that people can transform the space at work. And then we connected with universities, we connected with professors, with architects, with designers, and they helped us to come up with a publication and with some very useful and pragmatic tips on how to apply the more software part of it. Now, when I talk about software, it could be like in the organizational structure of a company. It can be, let's say, the methods that they use, the culture in the company, and the way that they structure all these processes. And therefore, we created this booklet. We entitled it Collaboration and Beyond. So it's absolutely what I believe a new dimension of collaboration. And there are very useful tips on how to apply this and to make companies more successful in order to create great things together. So this is the first one. The second example I brought along is about colors. Now, can you imagine a world without colors, Simon?
A little bit difficult True.
You know what the truth is? There are so many companies that still prefer to use 3 colors, black, white, and gray. But we as human beings, we need color. And as an architect, let's get color back again. So as an architect, I'm just so fascinated about the impact that color can have. And so what we did is we reached out to color experts and we asked them to help us to identify the trends in the office and the color trends that will be relevant in the next couple of years. And then helped us to work out some color recipes that will make it easy and pragmatic for people to apply colors in order to support people and make them more effective and more successful in their work. And these color recipes will be contained in a cookbook that we are publishing. But in this small booklet, we will have the Office Trends 2021, where you will see the introduction of it, an illustration of how they will look like and how to apply them.
Well, we are very excited how these tools, tips will look like. Actually, our next guest will perfectly connect to some of the issues you just mentioned. Joining us live from the Sedus Cinema is now Birgit Gebhardt. Mrs. Gebhardt is a trend expert and conducts research on the future of work culture. She has published her findings from expert interviews, consulting projects, and travels for the New Work Order studies. She's a consultant for companies such as Swisscom Estates, Xing, or Lufthansa, and was a project manager in the Trendbüro for 12 years, which she also managed as managing director before founding her own company. Birgit, great having you here.
Hi, Simon.
Is there a new form of collaboration?
Yes, I would say there is, because we have a more user-centric collaboration. Before, it was more the office who provided spaces for collaboration and for activity-based working. But now we merely see the experiences of the user themselves being a mobile worker, or having done co-working, or at least having been in the home office for 6 months and longer. And this made up our minds in sort of in which environment are we more productive, and how far can the environment support our work, our activities. And as I said, we had already this idea of activity-based learning in the office, but I would say it was merely half-hearted. And when I compare it, for example, to the crafts métier, which you see in the image here of the 16th century in Amsterdam, take a tailor cabinet, and you see they are not at the table, but on the table, sitting in the full sunlight, which enters through huge windows, which were very cozy at these epochae. And then they have the tailor seat. They have the tissues on their legs, because this is easy to treat them, more easy to treat them. And the client is directly in the shop, so you have all the negotiations with the client as well as sort of briefings and so on. So I would say this is the perfect example of seeing how user-centric, activity-based working place can be. And I would say our offices, they could approach a little bit more in this direction.
Well, you spoke about increased individualization. What role do the digitalization and intelligence of new technologies play in this?
Yeah, this is a good point, because in the study I tried to start at the Anthropocene. That means if we are conscious of having virtual, mixed and augmented realities, and what effects this will have on our efficiency in work. And for sure, for example, the best example is perhaps the navigation system, because normally when you in former times had your cards, it was complicated to find the way. Now it starts right on the bottom under your feet. The world is expanding, and this has changed our notion in how far we can imagine being where. There's no fear of taking a plane to the end of the world and finding there our ways. if we have some networks there. But that means we have more trust in ourselves thanks to these new digital items. And it also means that we will have more of them, not only the navigation system we are practicing right now, but also smart assistant systems like our Apple Watch is starting, our Fitbits, and they will tell the employees where they work best, when it's time to rest, if the light has the right ambience due to their personal individual preferences. And so you get a lot of information onto your sort of space of consciousness, augmented information on your glasses, on your contact lens. And there will be employees who know very well in which space they work the best. And that will challenge the office for sure.
So obviously the digital tools will change a lot in the way we will work in the future. How will people's perception of space and communication change?
Yeah, I think a good example to imagine this is perhaps our way of doing selfies of ourselves. At the beginning, it was a little bit amusing seeing all the guys doing selfies of themselves. But in the end, it's a strategy of using these new digital media. Because when you make a selfie, you are all of a sudden the protagonist of the whole situation, which in fact mostly you aren't, but you take the position and you fake this relevant set so that you are the protagonist of the whole scene. And I think this is a very interesting aspect for our learning, because in the end, that means you can not only enlarge your scope of activity or present yourself in a better way, because you have filters to adjust the lighting or the colors which intensify the background and so on. But you use it also for strategy to convince yourself that you can do something, that you have learned something, that your space of activity has expanded, and you have the proof of that visually. You can see it, that you have done it, that you were capable of doing it.
And how can companies make use of these findings?
Well, companies should take in concern that we will have those digital tools, that we will have this space of perception which is enlarging, not only the way of interacting between each others physically, which is a great advantage, because in no other way such many senses are addressed and activated. So we are in a very alert mood of collaborating when we collaborate physically. But also in sort of all the spaces which derive from our imagination, which give us the secure feeling of, being able to work from the end of the world, to find our ways there, to have gaming and virtual realities which give us information at my fingertips, the information which I personally need or preferences I individually ask for. And in fact, the office as a physical environment should, on one hand, perhaps challenge the idea of making it happen on the very addressing physical way, addressing all those sentiments and emotions we need for getting a group spirit, eating together, having fun together, gaming together, and trying to involve this into a learning and an exchange of information. But on the other hand, perhaps you should imagine it as like a sort of a user experience. So the office should make up its mind in how far it could really take the hand of the user and guide him through these vast new spaces, and what the contribution could be. I think in fact, it would be literally a stage for the user where he can perform better than at home or in a train or wherever. So I think this is a sort of an asset. And if you would ask me where you can find these ideas, perhaps for inspiring apart from the stage, I would say perhaps you go into a cultural center, because there you find a lot of people who are interested in many things. You go into workshops, you are on a very self-centered way, seeing all those offerings and also interacting with those offerings, people who are with you. So there is this knowledge exchange. And on the other hand, there's also the idea of meeting people having a feeling of togetherness, having all the extension of the senses, but in a very large variety of offerings.
Thank you very much for the interview, Birgit Gebhardt.
Thank you, Simon.
Well, these are indeed new dimensions waiting for us, right, Mr. Holzapfel?
Simon, I absolutely agree. It's so amazing what happens when experts reach out to each other, investigate on these things, and share their knowledge.
Thank you very much, Birgit Gebhardt. Thank you very much, Ernst Holzapfel.
Thanks, Simon.
So, now I will go on a little journey of discovery myself, and you will accompany me. So come on, let's go. The PM managers are already waiting for us behind the curtain. Well, I'm really excited to see the new products of Sedus, and I'm pretty sure that you, dear viewers, feel the same way. I'm here now with Linda Schuster. She is the head of product management systems. Hello, Linda.
Hi, Simon.
So we heard a lot about agility, but what does that mean for office furniture?
Above all, agile office concepts lead to completely new demands on office furniture. And I can tell you one thing. Classical meeting rooms with mostly rigid conference tables and chairs do not fulfill these requirements because they do not offer users the freedom of choice. And this is exactly where our new products come in, that are intuitive, easy, and ready to use. And above all, they are mobile and flexible.
Can you show us something?
Yes, of course. Simon, imagine an ideal setting that allows you and your team to work together on tricky tasks, but at the same time, very flexibly and independently, with whiteboards, with a kind of easel, and a caddy, and which are, as you can see, movable and mobile, so that suddenly the ideas become movable and mobile as well. Or with compact high desks on wheels that I can use flexibly in my setting. Or with seating that is quickly available, that supports interaction in the workshop and the dynamics. So you can see that settings can be easily adapted to the needs of the team. Inspiration comes from labs, where facts are analyzed and solutions are derived, and therefore the name C-Lab.
So that means C-Lab is a furniture program especially for workshops?
Yes, but it offers much more. The new products not only stand for mobility and flexibility, they also stand for holistic solutions. Complete office worlds can be designed with C-Lab. These workshop scenarios, agile project areas, meeting zones, multifunctional rooms, which by nature often have to be redesigned, to the workstations, with, for example, motorized desks or team workstations as a bench solution. And Simon, look at the design language of the products. This is round and soft, and you can find it in all products, whether here in the high desk, in the kind of easel, in the caddy, or for the motorized desks. All elements can be easily combined with each other for a harmonious overall picture and a lot of design options.
Okay, but well, you mentioned this desk with this motorized desk with this height adjustment. Well, but aren't there plenty of them already on the market?
Yes, that's true. But we ask ourselves, what can we do better? Simon, are you up for a race?
Sure.
Come on, I want to show you something.
All right.
Just go over there. Did you find the control element? It's over there.
Yes.
So when we say go, we go up. Okay?
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Ready?
Uh-huh.
On your marks.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And go. So Simon, the speed on your side shows how we work today. And on my side, may I introduce the fastest motorized desk in the world. While you need about 18 seconds to finally stand up, I need above 4 seconds.
Well, it is indeed a lot of fun, actually, to have these little races with your colleagues, I guess. But, I mean, no, seriously, so what made you decide to make the motorized desk faster?
Well, quite simply, we want to encourage people to be more active at work because the changing from sitting to standing supports the user to work more effectively and productively. But we found that the possibility of changing posture is not used or is used too rarely because it often takes too long for the user to adjust the desk. And this is the solution, temptation speed.
Thank you very much, Linda. I definitely want to have a rematch after this.
We can do that.
All right. So now I'm here with Angela Bartelmes. She is the head of product management seating. Hello, Angela.
Hi, Simon.
So there's obviously a lot of work and a lot to do for the office of the future. But what does seating furniture actually look like? And do we still sit at all?
Well, that's a very good question. The office of the future, the hybrid workspace, will for sure combine the best of both worlds, office work and remote work. And our new products within seating are absolutely in line with that.
And what does that mean exactly?
Well, you know, ever since we have developed furniture, people have been thinking in categories, systems and chairs. And what would happen if we just combine both into one? This was the inspiration of C-Note. C-Note is a micro workplace. Take it, feel free.
All right.
Yeah, it's ready to use. It is perfect for spontaneous workshops and agile working. And imagine, Simon, with C-Note, you could totally dispense with the tedious preparation and arrangement of the office furniture you would normally need for your workshop. Cool, isn't it?
It's great. And what else do you have to consider when it comes to agile working? And, well, and what does agile working actually mean for, like, regarding seating?
Versatility really makes the difference. When we, for example, look at this chair, we see a very clear and sharp design language which radiates calm into the room. And you know, nowadays we are surrounded by any fancy things. Calm is a very important point, and this chair radiates calm into the room. It's C-Mood. You could also try that one.
All right.
It's stackable. It is lightweight, as you can see, so it can be easily moved from A to B, and it's also usable temporarily outdoors. The design of C-Mood lives by its minimalistic and sustainable materials. So the frame, the plastic seat shell, as well as the PET seat shell, are made out of 100% already recycled plastic. And when I look at you, it is also incredibly comfortable, isn't it? Simon? Hi.
Right. But wait, do I have to be afraid of another furniture competition race thing now with a office chair?
No, you can stay calm. But I have a difficult question for you. So this task chair right here, is it made for the work at home or the work in the office?
I guess both.
Exactly. It is homey, cozy, thanks to its knitted back, but it is also intelligent. It recognizes how to adjust itself without you doing anything. It is set automatically, so the adjustments are totally unnecessary anymore. It's perfect for flexible working concepts. It saves time, money, and the ergonomic is always optimal.
All right, so obviously you are well equipped for the future, for the office, for working culture and so on. But, Angela, well, but do you also have something, I don't know, for the heart?
For the heart? Well, let me think. The story with chairs in the office. So there are task chairs and there are visitor chairs. And there's this very deep friendship between task chairs and visitor chairs. And our most successful task chairs have received partners. So they have the same design language, which is very contemporary and defined with fine lines, but they are also future-proof. They adapt to changes within the surroundings, and they enhance the offices, waiting areas, teaching areas, as well as conference areas equally.
Angela, I think I fell in love. All right, thank you very much, Angela Bartelmes and Linda Schuster, for presenting the new products. I have to go since the board members are already waiting for me on the stage. Well, dear viewers, the workplace is changing and we are right in the middle of it. But take a look for yourself. So I'm now really excited to welcome the board members on stage with me. So first of all, welcome back, Holger Janke, Executive Board Member for Marketing and Sales. And Cornel Spohn, Chief Financial Officer. Welcome. Thank you. And Daniel Kittner, Chief Technical Officer. Welcome. Great having you here. So, Mr. Spohn, what impact did the recent crisis have on the economy and on Sedus in particular?
Yes, if you look back, the last weeks and months weren't usual at all. The corona pandemic has, of course, hit the entire economy. Some industries more and some less. Since March, we have seen a spectacular decline of the economy. And only a few weeks later, we have seen a slight but a steady recovery in the economical figures. If you look at Sedus, I can confidently say that we are doing very well. Our incoming orders are developing better than the average in the market. And the bottom line is we will finish this year with a profit. We have a flexible cost structure and a resilient company overall, with great employees and shareholders which are not interested in a short-term profit, but on a long-term success. These are all reasons why we have such a solid financial base. This gives us the security to invest with our own money and to be successful in the future. This makes Sedus a reliable and a strong partner today and in the future.
Mr. Kittner, in the pandemic year 2020, many companies have frozen or cut back their investments. What is the situation with Sedus?
Yes, in the last years, we invested a lot in our facilities, not just in buildings and offices, but also in our core processes and competences, and also in innovative new processes like the foam fleece production. When you look at the products we just launched this year, you will see that there's a lot of these new technologies and competences included, and we wouldn't have been able to develop and produce these products without these investments. For this, you can see that it's very important for us to keep this going, despite the corona pandemic, and we will go ahead with this also in the future. So to give you an example, we just decided to invest in a part production in Geseke, And with this, we will increase the capacity for the systems products by nearly the double. And this will give us the capability to follow our growth structure, to follow our growth strategy with the Sedus known quality, reliability, and also flexibility. So with this, we will be able to produce in our own plants made in Germany.
Mr. Janke, many people today talk about e-commerce, digitalization, or home office. So how do you see the future of Sedus in marketing and sales?
Bright, of course, Simon. Of course, bright. But I will answer with a question. And the question which a lot of our clients are still asking at the moment is, how does the office work? Not the opposite. How does the people in the office? How does the office work? That means that they are thinking about the process if the people are coming back to the office, because we have a lot of clients where about 90% of the white-collar workers are still working from home, from the home office. And but the time will come. They come back to the office, and they are looking and searching for structures which are flexible enough to have the right answers for the people when they come back.
Thank you very much for the interview. Well, we are now at the end of our broadcast. Thanks a lot to my guests, the audience, and of course, thanks a lot to you, dear viewers, who tuned in online. Looking into the future with confidence in shaping it together. Let's join in this common mission to create great things together. Stay safe, all the best, and goodbye.